Hi guys, it's Chris, back in the cider shed after a little time away in Devon, where I had a very nice time. Had some good cider as well. Films to watch on that if you're interested. Bought some as well, brought it back, started selling it on the market on Saturday. Sold both, not all of it, but started selling both of them. So the yard champagne method and the Redaways traditional, both of which are brilliant and totally different. So what have I got in the shed today? Well, I'm expecting a pallet, well, 2 pallets actually, on Wednesday. Quite big pallets as well. There's some new stuff to try. But over the weekend, a couple of things happened. Just minor things. Made me think, I could do that. A guy called Mark, who owns some restaurants in South East London, a couple of bottle shops as well, who I recently started selling cider and perry to, came up to me at the market the other day. He shops on that market because he's local. And bought some Betty Prosser, Cumbernatic Betty Prosser off me, a bottle of that. And he said, what cheese from Mons do you think I should have with this? And I thought, fresh goat's cheese. Lango de Cus. So he went off and bought that. Then he put on his Instagram feed later that they were very much enjoying that pairing. Thought, well, that's interesting. Perry and goat's cheese. Good combination. Also on the weekend, there was an article in the Guardian. Yeah, Guardian. Fiona Beckett. I was going to say Fiona Bruce there, and I knew that wasn't right. Fiona Beckett, the wine writer, wrote a piece called "'Tis the Season to Drink Perry." I thought, yes, you're right, Fiona, it is. It always is, though, isn't it? And a couple of the perries that she mentioned, producers that she mentioned, namely Ross-on-Wye and Buffalo Organic, both of whom I sell. So I thought, you know what, I'll get some goat's cheese, I'll get some perry, and I'll do a little tasting. How's that? So, what goat's cheese did I get? Well, actually, let's start with the perry. The perry I got, I've had it on here before. I've got another 12 cases of this arriving on Wednesday. So I like it. I like it as well because it's only 6.3, it's not 8.4, which is nice. It's the Gin and Blakeney Red Blend, 2018 Wild Ferment from Ross-on-Wye. Really like this stuff. A couple of friends of mine had it with, what did they do? They did, oh man, I can't remember what it was now. They did, something unusual. They deep fried something in batter and then had it with this. And they said it was absolutely amazing, but I can't remember what it was. And that was a few weeks ago. If I remember, I'll post it. Put something on the screen. If I don't post anything on the screen, it's because I can't remember. So what's the cheese? The cheese is from Mons. The cheese is this little guy. There it is. That is a little goat's cheese. That is called Crottin de Chavignol. It's from the Loire, which is the spiritual home of goat's cheese. I might have mentioned this before. So yeah, lactic set. So very slow set, very little rennet. Get a lot of acidification. You get quite a nice friable texture in these cheeses. You also get these beautiful moulds on the outside. You can see that blue-green sort of moulds on the outside. Less on one side than the other, because they sit for a while on one side and they're salted, and then they're turned, and one side gets a little more acid than the other, so therefore develops a bit more mould than the other. Geeky shit, you don't need to know that. But some nice mould, so Penicillium candidum with the white stuff, but also some Penicillium album is the grey stuff, I believe. And Penicillium album, formerly known as Penicillium camemberti, because actually the mould on camembert used to be this colour, blue, till Louis Pasteur discovered the white stuff, and people started putting that on purpose, and this stuff just doesn't appear in it anymore. And if it does, people consider it to be a flaw. But yeah, this was, I think, originally known as Penicillium camemberti. And Penicillium camemberti did used to go blue, even though that's not the case. So yeah, 200 years ago, that's what camembert would look like. I mean, not the shape, but that colour there. So yeah, quite firm, quite acid. They can be aged to quite a degree in France. I mean, I don't know the age on this. I'm going to guesstimate that is about 2 weeks old. I'm going to guesstimate, maybe 3 weeks old, probably 2 weeks old looking at it, not much mould on that side. But I've seen these on this farm, I went to this farm in fact, and I've seen them aged, we had them at different degrees of aging. And as they got older, they got smaller and smaller and smaller, and after like 3 months, they're just like a pebble, like a little rock, almost like a truffle. I mean, they're so firm, but intensely goaty, but you can shave them actually onto things. And in France, it's totally valid to have them at all these different stages of maturation, whereas England, I think, was used to things being like very young and fresh and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, people don't tend to eat them like that. But actually, if these goes get a bit older and a bit harder, I kind of like them. Just shave off bits, it's quite intense, I love it. This is quite a firm cheese anyway. It's kind of classed as a soft, but really, it's pretty firm. So, let's open up the perry. Can't do anything until we've done that. So, I'll move that out of the way. Pop. Nice pop. Nice bubbles. So yeah, we've talked about this Perry. Don't have to talk about it too much. I like it. Gin is one of them. I think it's called gin because it used to give quite high alcohol. So they call it gin because it's quite strong. I think Perry pairs with the name Huffcap. Like Hendry Huffcap and Yellow Huffcap. I think Huffcap means it knocks your hat off. Huffs off your cap because it's so strong. Again, similar kind of thing. They thought it was quite strong, so they called it Huffcap, and then they would give call it Yellow Huffcap or Hendry Huffcap, depending on which Huffcap they decided it was. So yeah, Blakeney Red needs a little introduction. One of the most famous of the British cider Perry pears from Blakeney in the Forest of Dean. I suspect that's what I've heard. Not in Norfolk, as some people have guessed. Actually, Forest of Dean. So hazy, nice sparkle. Bottle conditioned blend of gin, which is aged in oak from 2017 and 2018 Blakeney Red. Not aged in oak, I believe, to keep it nice and fresh and give it some acidity. Let's try it. Hang on, let's smell it. Yeah, nice hint of funk, nice fresh pear, but quite a ripe character to it as well. Let's have a taste. Yeah, I mean, it's quite Perry can be quite light and refreshing. I think Fiona and Becca referred to that in her article. But there is a bit of funk to this. Hint of tannin as well. It's not just light and airy. There's stuff going on here. It has character. There's a richness in the background as well, which I really like. I do like this Perry a lot, which is why I bought so much of it. Totally quaffable, but also with a level of complexity, which is a nice line to walk, I think. Okay, but I think it's light enough that it should go quite well. Also a hint of sorbitol, so sweetness, so non-fermentable sugar alcohol, sorbitol, which is what gives Perry its residual sweetness when you ferment it. Yeah, good stuff. Right, look at this. Chop a bit off. Let's have a taste. Well, quite toothsome, so resistant when you bite through it. I can taste the mould on the outside. Gives you that kind of cave-like mushroomy quality. Totally coats your palate. It's so dense. It is quite flaky, but it just kind of melts in your mouth as well. Good salt, not too salty, but it's there. Nice acidity, quite bracing. Then it kind of like savoury goat's milk sort of character coming through as well. Quite mineral. So I'm going to have some more of that. Yeah, and there's a kind of a butteriness. Once it kind of starts to warm up and dissolve in your mouth, the fats start to coat your palate, which is excellent. And when the fats coat your palate, then the flavours coat your palate and they sort of persist. So, it's nice there's a hint of sweetness in that Perry, because it works in all that delicate saltiness in the cheese. Also the bubbles, nice. It just takes that layer of fat that was on my palate, just sort of helps take it away. Ready for my next mouthful of fatty cheese, which is a good thing. One more bit of cheese. It's a nice pairing. As far as pairings go, and I can talk about this quite a lot, I'm not totally hung up on pairings. Don't really care that much. I've got a drink in this hand I like, a cheese in this hand I like. How bad a time can I really be having? I mean, you can stress too much about this. First world problem, okay? However, when things come together, it's brilliant. But what you don't want is for them to clash. No, I don't feel like this is like a world-changing, mind-blowing cheese and Perry pairing. However, it's a very nice cheese and it's a very nice Perry, and they do not clash. And they both bring something to the party. Saltiness, acidiness, bubbles, fat. It worked great. And I will very happily consume both of these together. I'm not going to eat all of this once I turn the camera off because it's bloody great. So yeah, and I think, do Mons Cheesemongers? I sell cider to Mons Cheesemongers. And I can't remember if they've got this one in the shop. But I know that they liked it. So I'm going to have to bag them if they haven't. If they do, and you live in East Dulwich, go down, get a croissant, get one of these, and do this tasting for yourself. Believe me, you'll have a very, very nice time doing it. Okay, guys, thank you for joining me back in my shed. I might not do anything tomorrow because I will be getting new stuff on Wednesday, so I might wait till then. New stuff coming off the pallet, new stuff to try. Looking forward to it. Okay, until then, thanks for joining me and cheers.